little bit about the Scott Snyder class. I had no idea he was even doing classes. Is it like a comic book focus class, or is it like a writing class? Like what is?
Yeah, so it is a comic writing class specifically, and so the class is basically through a Substack. I'm sure you guys know Substack is like a big thing in comics now.
Yeah.
So they got Scott on board. He was one of their grant recipients, and he said, "Well, I'm going to do a comic writing class. I'm not just going to make a comic on Substack." So he did the class.
That's cool.
And so there's many hundreds of students in it. And mostly
it's all
writers.
Online. It's all like over Zoom or something like that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So he teaches the class live. So it's actually him teaching live on Zoom, and you can type in questions in the comments. He's got a class Discord, which is like the community.
The server,
so you can interact with all the other students there. It's a great space for meeting collaborators. So if you're a student looking for an artist and you want to make a book, you can do it in there.
Yeah, and the Discord servers are like kind of like the modern day like forums now, right?
Yeah, basically, it's like a private. Yeah, it's like a private community, but it has like channels and message board features, and you can do like live video chats and things like that inside the Discord. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so
I was gonna say so does he do this a lot? Is it like once a year?
Once a month.
Like once a month? Okay.
Yeah, once a month.
Oh, that's cool. So, and are you able to access the older stuff too?
Yep. So all those meetings are recorded.
Cool.
Yeah. So if you do the premium Substack, just like any other comic creator, $7 a month, you can get access to all the old videos. So you can watch class 1 through whatever. The last live class is July 13th. So it's this month. And you can sign up anytime you wanted. So if you wanted to sign up for his class tonight,
you just go to the archive.
Get all the old
stuff. If you want to be there live, then you can see it. Is he going to continue doing it after that too?
I believe so. Yeah, I think the unofficial announcement is that he's going to do a round 2 second class, and that would probably start in August, which is when the first one started last year.
Gotcha.
I think it's an incredible.
Not bad. Like you could get a whole comic book writing education for like $7 a month.
Yes,
and you can blitz through all the archives, right? Is that how?
Yeah, you absolutely can. So there's actually a curriculum too.
Is there really? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I'm doing a lot of like marketing stuff here for Scott, but I believe in the class, and so like each class actually has a specific topic, right? So you might have characterization, pitching. So he's got a class on how to pitch to publishers.
Oh, cool.
A class on beginnings and endings. He has a class on villains, how to make a good villain.
Oh, wow.
So it's like very specific curriculum. So if you're interested,
good stuff though, like because I think that's all very helpful, especially like if you're trying to craft like specific characters for your comic. Like,
totally.
I think that's really cool. Yeah, Johnny, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say. Now it's kind of intriguing. Is the format set up where it's like a glossary? Like, do you have to go through the steps, or you're like, oh, I'd like to really know just about like crafting a villain? Can you just jump right in there?
Well, you can access that old video anytime you want. So you don't have to learn in any order, but the live class obviously is whatever topic Scott's talking about. I can't remember what the topic is for July 13th. The last class last month was on mistakes in comics. So what not to do when you make a comic.
Oh,
very interesting.
That's very helpful.
And he's got some superstar guests who are like guest lecturers. So he had like Tynion, Donnie Cates, Chip Zdarsky. He had Will Dennis as one on the pitching class. So, I mean, there's a lot of value there.
Yeah, no, and those are all top guys too. Like, I mean, do you guys all like? I mean, I know Ben must like Scott Snyder. Johnny and Oliver, do you guys like his work?
Yeah.
Nope. I haven't read any mainstream comics as of late, so.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I really applaud Scott Snyder for doing that. And I was gonna say before we started talking about the silent stuff, I actually think I've read a bunch of Snyder stuff. I actually think his independent stuff is better than his mainstream stuff. Wow. Like personally, with the book he's got out now, the Noctera from Image,
Yep.
I think is awesome. Have any of you guys read that?
Yeah.
You've read
I've
it?
not. No.
It's a post-apocalyptic kind of story, but it has everything Ben was mentioning, like an amazing villain, an amazing premise too. Like I really like the premise a lot, and really strong, cool female character lead. Really good horror stuff, and I could feel his excitement writing that more than I could when he was doing like something like Batman. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, he's talked about that in the class a little bit, like how since he's left DC, how re-energized he is to make comic stories with all of the independent books he has now, like on Comixology and Noctera. Like you can just tell he's like so fired up because these are his characters, his stories, his settings, and it shows. Like it comes through in the actual book.
Yeah, I agree. Like I feel it. Like not even have heard him say that, but I feel that in the material. You know, so
I gotta fact check myself. That
Go ahead,
Batman
Oliver.
issue I was referencing was actually Batman 67, and it was Tom King.
Ah.
Scott Snyder.
I'm so out of it, guys, because I thought Scott Snyder was still in DC, so he's now out.
Yeah, he's doing he's an
books?
independent
Wow.
guy now.
Yep.
He left. I don't know what he left. Like maybe
Last
3
year?
years ago, maybe. Or
Yeah,
no,
maybe
something
2
like
years. Yeah.
Okay, wow,
Yeah, it actually wasn't that long ago.
good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't seem like anybody that is on the higher end on the mainstream stuff is actually at Marvel or DC anymore. They're actually doing their own books and projects now, you know. So, I think we're we're right in the middle of another indie resurgence, you know, if you will,
Renaissance.
yeah.
Good.
It's great, yeah. So I like that. So I would say check out Scott Snyder's Substack, you know, to get these lessons, especially if you're trying to learn to make comics or just even want to brush up things. Like I'd love to listen to the pitching one. Like I'd love to see how.
Pitching one was great. Yeah,
Yeah.
he had Will Dennis, who's a Vertigo editor, longtime Vertigo editor, told so many cool stories about the books that he brought on board and gave advice on how to pitch to publishers, what they look for, what they don't, you know, all that stuff is great.
Yeah, that's good. That's all great information. Stuff that people look for because, I mean, if you start submitting, I mean, you can go to every publisher's website and just blind submit everything, but you know it's either sitting in a pile that will never get seen or it gets thrown away. So the chances of it reaching somebody is like zero, you know.
Yeah.
So that kind of information is great, and also the characterization stuff sounds amazing because I definitely could learn from some of that stuff. You know, I think everybody could. You know.
Yeah, I think. Oh, go ahead, Johnny.
I was just gonna say, if you're creating and you're not making discoveries as you go up into the day, then you might not be doing it right.
Yeah. And now Ben, so like somebody like
Ben,
Oliver, who is like primarily an artist and a letterer, could he get something from that class too, or is it like did you have artists in the class as well as writers? Okay.
Yep. It's mostly writers, but we do have artists and letterers. Actually, one of the letterers on our anthology, he's lettered several of the stories. He came from the class. I think so. Scott talks very broadly about the comics industry, how he broke in, how hard it is to break in, how to make your first book, all that stuff. And then if you're like a process nerd, he actually on the calls, the Zooms, he will take scripts of various books, including his own, and he'll do script breakdowns, right? He's like, here's my script for Court of Owls. This is what I wrote in 10 years ago, and this is what the finished page looks like. And then he'll pull up the image, the page on Comixology. So like he gets into the nuts and bolts of like making comics. So I think that's good for anybody. Like, doesn't matter if you're indie.
Definitely. Because there's a lot. It's funny, like there is a lot of information now on how to make comics.
Exactly.
But learning from somebody that was at these major companies and how they do it is always kind of cool to see, and learn from their mistakes too. Like if he's telling you mistakes to avoid, and
for sure,
that's all good information, definitely. And I think even anybody can use that, whether you've been in the industry for a year or 15 years, so that's great stuff. Yeah, so everybody out there, check out Substack. I had no idea this was going on in Substack. I thought they were making comics and then putting them out. So that's it. That's even cooler, if you ask me.
Yeah. The class, like, it's mostly about the class, and then we made an anthology coming out of the class. But yeah, it's Scott's class. That's his thing on Substack. He doesn't actually have a book that you only get through the Substack.
Oh, so he doesn't do that. It's just the
No,
classes.
just the class.
Okay. That's very cool.